Hey, my name's Jasmine, and welcome to the Revolution of Consciousness channel. So, today I want to talk about the hermit phase, primarily because I feel like I'm going into one now. I can recognize the signs within my thought patterns and within kind of my highest excitement, what is guiding me. Um, Also, obviously, the world has just been through a massive, or is still kind of going through a hermit phase with everything that's unfolded regarding the pandemic. I really wanted to kind of shed light on this phase of awakening that so many people seem to go through. And of course, everyone's awakening into the hermit phase is it's kind of different depending on them. But I've composed a list of 6 signs that seem to crop up for me anyway, and that I've seen crop up for other people. So, yeah, hopefully these signs will help you to navigate through your hermit phase a little bit better and realize that you are completely not alone. So many people have been through this and are currently experiencing this. Okay, so yeah, let's go into sign number 1. A calling to go inwards. So generally the hermit phase is called the hermit phase for a reason, and it's because we really do retreat inwards into our shell. We don't want to go out much, and we have this huge calling to turn our attention inwards. And our higher self communicates with us via excitement, and our highest excitement may be to not go out with our friends and instead just sit in and read a book or work on ourselves or do yoga or a myriad of other things that we do in relation to our spiritual journey, basically. So yeah, that's kind of the first telltale sign. And I've also kind of noticed that we don't want to be outside as much in society, and it's almost as if our higher self even takes away our sex drive, as what I've noticed as well with me and with friends that have gone through this. They we don't even really we're not interested in meeting the opposite sex, and all of that just disappears as well, so that we can perhaps spend more time in alone, in solitude, going inwards. So yeah, that's the call. That's like the main call, number one, within the hermit phase. It's, yeah, we just want to turn our attention inwards and throw ourselves into our inner world. Okay, number 2. So we are intuitively led on this journey of inner work and just general spiritual awakening. So, though our outer world may seem quite inactive, our inner world is flooded with so much. I mean, we are going through healing. We're intuitively led on this kind of roller coaster of inner work. We'll manifest certain situations that will trigger emotional responses, that will trigger memories to of a time once lived in a past life or this life when we were younger. We will be intuitively guided through so much during this time, and yeah, the healings will come, the revelations will come, the creative inspiration will come. There's so much that will just be kind of set alight within our inner world, and though our outer world again might seem quite uneventful, that's definitely compensated for everything that is going on internally. So I kind of always seem to be led through these themes, maybe on a Sunday night I'll sit there and I'll think, okay, this has been a theme, a theme, a theme. I'll write it down, and then I'll see as the week progresses that the universe will orchestrate this series of events to show me deeper revelations, deeper emotional uprises. It will bring me the right information at the right time, all to do with this current theme that I'm experiencing. And that's kind of how I'm led through my inner work. But yeah, so I mean, this is gonna be one of the main aspects really of the hermit phase, this explosion of activity within the inner world. And yeah, the creativity that comes as a result of this. You might want to start writing poetry, writing a blog, just anything to do with what's going on. Okay, sign number 3, emotional uprises. So during this time of the hermit phase, we become extremely sensitive. And this is probably also because we're not interacting with the outside world as much. We're spending more time alone. We're giving our mind free rein to kind of torment us in a way, because we're spending so much time alone. This gives birth to emotional uprises, but also we are being intuitively led into this journey of going inwards, basically. And that's for a reason. That's because we're at this point in our lives where it's time to really delve into our pain body, the deepest, darkest corners of the pain that we've held onto for so many years, and bring it to the surface to be released, so that we can move forward and so that we can grow spiritually. So yes, we will encounter high sensitivity. The littlest of things could spark the biggest emotional reactions, and we know when that happens that is an old emotion, old pain coming to the surface to be released. I often call it the washing machine, because sometimes you can really feel like you're in this big old washing machine going round and round, up and down emotionally, in this great big energetic emotional washing machine. In the morning I could feel great, then I could have this emotional uprise, could be triggered by the littlest of things, or it could just come up to the surface in meditation. And then as I allow myself to feel it, and in doing so heal it, then the emotion may run through me by the afternoon. And then suddenly another emotional uprise happens. I feel it, I let it run through me, and then I'm back to status quo. So it's the washing machine. You never know what you're going to get. And on the healing journey, it is difficult. It is, it is a series of ups and downs that we go through, the roller coaster of healing. And sometimes we just want to scream and say, stop. But actually, deep down that every time you sit there and just quietly observe and feel into the emotion, go back to a past event that happened where the emotion was first felt when you were like 3 or 4 years old, who knows. When you're led back into these emotions, deep down that it's all worth it. That when this phase is over, when the washing machine finishes, then you know that you're going to be moving forward in life, carrying less pain and feeling 10 times lighter. So yeah, that's sign number 3. Okay, number four. Spiritual research and spiritual practice goes wild. Okay, so during this time, you may find yourself spending hours a day watching YouTube videos, reading blog posts, reading books, just basically to absorb as much information as you can because you cannot get enough of it. In whatever areas to do with spirituality that really kind of feeds your soul, you want to satisfy this hunger that you have, this enormous appetite that you have to just absorb more and more information basically regarding whatever stage you are at in your spiritual awakening, and whatever topics really kind of again are your highest excitement. So what your higher self is guiding you through, what you are being guided through to learn about at the time. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be conceptual information. I mean, the spiritual practice as well, you can feel so um dedicated towards your spiritual practice, meditation, yoga, qigong, whatever it is that you feel guided to explore and practice. So it doesn't necessarily just have to be conceptual, it can be experiential as well, really deepening your awakening in that sense rather than just with the information. So personally, I really like this part of the hermit phase. It's so fun. Really kind of sets me on fire. I love learning about new topics, and yeah, like just kind of deepening my practice. So yeah, that's one of the other perks of the hermit phase, I guess. Okay, so number five. Now, this is kind of like a feeling of loneliness accompanied by a feeling of falling in love with oneself, really, with one's own company. It could be a mixed bag of emotions at times. So, we may feel lonely from, yeah, the obvious aspect from people, since we're spending a lot of time alone. We could also feel just a lack of connection to people at this moment in time because we are having a deepening and awakening of sorts, and maybe we are not surrounded by people that we can speak to about this, that so we may not feel understood, even if we've barricaded ourselves in a room full of like six people living in the same house, we could still feel lonely because we are just on this journey that no one else could really comprehend, even though we might want to scream it from the rooftops a little bit. Because what we're learning can sometimes be incredible, delving into the self to see where we've been harboring all this pain, why we've been harboring all this pain, waking up to the world and its happenings and the deeper truths. All of this we might want to share with people, but we just don't maybe have anyone to share it with. So this can spark this kind of maybe subtle or maybe intense loneliness. Who knows? But then, simultaneously we have this love for ourselves. We find that we can spend lots of time in our own company, going into nature, enjoying nature on our own, rather than having someone with us and speaking with them the whole time. Maybe going into nature on our own and really seeing nature for the first time without distractions. And you know, uh, spending all that time alone in a room by ourselves, I mean, that can really help us to fall in love with our company and with our own company. And I don't struggle too much personally with loneliness because I envision myself surrounded by this team of light that's guiding me through the whole of the hermit phase, really, this army of angels and guides that are there with me the whole time, and that can really help to alleviate some of the loneliness that comes with this phase of awakening. finally, sign number 6. Okay, so an aspect of the hermit phase that is often overlooked is just this enormous, exceptional growth during this time in our inner world, really. So it can often feel when we're in this phase like we're not growing. Because we're bringing up so much stuff all the time. And we can sometimes feel like we're never doing enough. But actually, this phase of awakening is so conducive to enormous spiritual growth in so many areas. First of all, being the fact that we have this pain body within us, this accumulation of past pain. And what we've done during this time is we've gone into that pain and we've brought it to the surface. We've felt it, we've allowed it to be there, we've let it move through us. So we're already growing so much in that aspect, and we're gonna feel so much lighter as a result. With all of the actual insight that we've had, the revelations that we've had about how we interact with the world, about how, where we gain our worth, where we hold our fears, our personality traits, just so many revelations about ourselves and our life so far, that in and of itself brings so much growth moving forward, and how we interact with the world moving forward. And then obviously you've got so much kind of greater mastery over the world, over your emotions. You spend so much time feeling your emotions, riding the waves of emotion. If you've been practicing meditation, you would have had, so much more mastery with observing your thoughts, observing life as it plays out in front of you. You would have deepened your practice, and you're gonna bring that forward, and that is obviously a sign of so much growth. And then obviously all the research you've done, the information that you've accumulated over this hermit phase, rather than going out and socializing, you've sat there and you've read books. That's a huge amount of information that it all accumulates and really helps to kind of fuel this awakening that you're having. And no doubt, you would have been inspired creatively, and even, come to some, a few kind of, I don't know, insights about your mission work, about why you're here on the planet, about what you want to do. So, there's so many different areas of growth that would have unfolded. And yeah, as I say, it's important to actually, I think it's important to recognize this as you go along, because the hermit phase is not the easiest phase. And it's great to kind of compensate those sometimes negative thoughts that run through our mind during this time with a thought that says, you know what, I am kicking ass right now. And you're gonna come up so high as well when you come out of the hermit phase, when you bring this newfound knowledge, this deepening that you've had, this awakening, when you bring that to the outside world, and you actually live everything that you've learned, and you show people and you teach people, and you really, bring it with you, and bring that light into the world. Bring that higher vibration that you've managed to achieve, bring it into the world, and shine your light so bright for those around you. And those around you will notice that you've changed. They'll notice that you're shining brighter than ever before. So yeah, that's 6 signs that you're in the hermit phase. If you're in this phase right now, keep going. It will come to an end. You will want to go out into the outside world before. I've actually been through a few of these phases. It can feel like you're doomed at some points, but I can assure you, we live in a universe that is governed by the principle of rhythm, and everything goes up and down. This too shall pass, and yeah, you'll be in another phase before you know it. So thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Jasmine. Please like and subscribe to see more content like this. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay, bye 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 bye.